So the revolution will be televised. The revolution is about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. We would like to commend security for quickly identifying the individual and apprehending him. The NFL said in a statement he hid the flags in his pocket and only took them out later during the show. No one involved in the production was aware of his intentions. Well, I thought the revolution was going to be televised. They're running away from the revolution. This guy that has the Gaza, Sudan flag, all he did was just jump up on stage. They said that he was part of the work production crew and that he had slipped the flag into his pocket, and then during the show, he pulls the flag out. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? You have a right to peacefully protest. You have a right to petition. You have a right to peacefully assemble. You have a right to speak. Since they're a private, ordeal, I guess they could do this little ban thing, but I think they're taking this way too damn far. The revolution was televised. He was going around waving a flag, and there was a whole bunch of people waving a flag. There's a whole bunch of chaos that was going, and frankly, you probably could have just let him run back and forth waving the flag, and then who knows what he would have done afterwards. After, he was up on the stage, he waved the flag up on stage. One lady kind of lunged for him, and then he jumps off the stage, and he runs back and forth about 3 times. And then they, the security guards or whatever, the people in suits, they jump him, get on the ground, and, escort him away. But I almost felt like he was kind of confused, so if he would have just walked back and forth, would he have done it 3 more times and just been like, man, I'm not getting any traction. It's all loud. It's chaos. Does anybody even see the guy? I heard that the show that was broadcast on TV, they didn't even see the Palestinian flag guy. So the NFL confirmed that the Gaza, Sudan person was part of the 400-member field cast. The New Orleans Police Department said in a statement that law enforcement is working to determine applicable charges in this incident. The individual will be banned for life from all NFL stadiums and events. NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy said in an emailed statement the performer stood on a car and used as a prop for Lamar's performance, held up the flag. The NFL said the individual hid the item on his person, unveiled it later in the show, and that no one involved in the production was aware of the individual's intent. We didn't know nothing about it, You can't tell us that we can't. It's all about the corporation. It's all about the show. It's all about the corporation. Rock Nation, the entertainment company which produced the show, said that the act was neither planned nor part of the production and was never in any rehearsal. So a spontaneous act of a guy pulling out a flag and waving the flag. Whippity, skippity, doo-dah day. Who gives a shit? The show continued without interruption. It did not seem as though the person was shown on the broadcast of Lamar's production. Now, I'm familiar with the Palestine angle, but I'm not for sure what's going on with Sudan. I read a couple things, and there was the thing with Darfur and George Clooney. And then right now, the capital of Sudan is overtaken by the rebels, which the revolutionaries, the rebels, what do any of these groups stand for? What don't they stand for? I don't understand exactly what's going on. It'd be nice to know who this guy was and then what he was actually talking about. What is his angle? What does he, when he's pointing out Sudan? I know about Palestine. I don't know about Sudan. But Sudan is to form a new government after regaining Khartoum. Okay, so there was a civil war. There's a civil war in Sudan. And the rebels had the capital, Khartoum, Khartoum, Khartoum. I'm going to say Khartoum for now until I'm told differently, but they're saying that the rebels had the capital for like months, maybe even 16 months or something, and then the government forces eventually took the capital back. And now that the government forces have taken the capital back, they're going to form a brand new government. So it's revolution anyways, right? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, or it's glory be to God in the highest, or glory be to Jesus in the highest. It's not damned, but it's good if you do, good if the rebels are trying to change the government. Well, the government's going to get changed anyways. If the rebels wanted power, then it's not the best thing for the rebels, but And if there was a firefight, I wonder, like, people were probably shot. So Sudan is a civil war right now. It'd be interesting to know who the two parties are, who was the rebels taking the capital, who are the government's forces. How did they take the capital? How's all this been happening without any sort of publicity? The Sudan army claims major advances against the RSF. The rebels are called the RSF. 2 days ago, the BBC said army advances as it seeks to recapture Khartoum. And then 16 hours ago, Reuters said that Sudan to form a new government after regaining Khartoum. Sudan's army close to retaking its own capital. So that's trippy. They actually overthrew Sudan's government, and then Sudan is now getting their government back, but they're going to form a new government anyways. So they're going to get a new government. So it seems pretty complicated to me, just so far. Just that's the major strokes. Let's see if we can, well, I guess we'll check out this Reuters article. So this is by Khalid Abdel Aziz. Dubai, February 9th, the formation of a new Sudanese government is expected to happen after the recapture of Khartoum is completed, military sources told Reuters. A day after Army head Abdul Fattah al-Burhan said he would form a technocratic wartime government. The Sudanese army, long on the back foot in its war with the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, that's RSF. The Rapid Support Forces, what do the Rapid Support Forces, who's the constitutional, who wants the Bill of Rights, who wants the three branches of government, who wants a rule of law, has in recent weeks regained ground in the capital Khartoum along several axes, closing in on the symbolic presidential palace along the Nile. The RSF, which has said it would support the formation of a rival civilian administration, has retreated, overpowered by the army's expanded air capacities, ground ranks swollen by allied militias. We can call it a caretaker government, a wartime government. It's a government that will help us complete what remains of our military objectives, which is freeing Sudan from these rebels, Burhan told a meeting of army-aligned politicians. The RSF controls most of the west of the country, is engaged in an intense campaign to cement its control in the Darfur region by seizing the city of Al-Fazir. Burhan ruled out a Ramadan ceasefire unless the RSF stopped that campaign. The war erupted April 2023 over disputes about the integration of the two forces after they worked together to oust civilians with whom they had shared power after the uprising that ousted autocrat Omar al-Bashir. The conflict has created one of the world's largest humanitarian crises, with the displacement of more than 12 million people and half the population facing hunger. So there's some shit going on in Sudan, right? They need humanitarian help at the very least. Burhan said there would be changes. We just gave $7 billion to Israel. I mean, if we just got billions to give, well, we just dismantled the U.S. aid program. The interim constitution. So Burhan said that there would be changes to the country's interim constitution, which the military sources said would remove all references to partnership with civilians or the RSF, placing authority solely with the army, which would appoint a technocratic prime minister who would then appoint a cabinet. So we're kicking all the civilians out, partnership with civilians or the RSF. Are the RSF civilians? Burhan called on members of the civilian Quadum coalition to renounce the RSF, saying they would be welcome back if they did so. And then that's the end of that Reuters article. So there's a little tidbit of what's going on in Sudan. But it's legacy media, Elon says that legacy media, they're just lying. Carmageddon, right? You just want to eat their lies. We, the people, are saying what's going on now. So let's see. Maybe I could just do a little Sudan search here, huh? What does the social media platform, what is X saying? So they're just talking about the Palestine-Sudan flag. We do believe that there's a shared pain. Well, this is from a long while ago. Nothing comes up immediately, but that just means there wasn't, a million people that looked at it and clicked on it. It's all this guy with the flag. So they said that he was tackled He seems like just a regular guy. Frankly, it just seems like he's having a good time. There's just a lot of chaos. There's another guy with like a big fat flag, and I have no idea what this big flat flag is about. It's got A. It's got the minor A at the top, and it looks like there's two symbols of two people reaching out for the A. So just some nonsense flag. You can wave a bunch of nonsense flags, but you can't wave a Palestinian flag. What the hell is this about? Hey, that's not a part of the show. Hey, yeah, that's not a part. He waved a flag, bro. Why'd you tackle him and kidnap him and throw him in jail for 70 years and put a felony on him? Well, he waved a piece of cloth, bro. You mean like a thin blue line? No, not like a thin blue line cloth. Like a Confederate flag? No, not like a Confederate, like a Nazi flag. They were waving Nazi flags in Cincinnati. They didn't get arrested. The police are actually protecting them from the counter-protesters. So that's a little bit about the Palestine. I know what's going on. So I think that was the most exciting part for me. Apparently, one of the teams won and the other team lost. The Kansas City lost and the Philadelphia Eagles won. So it's a brand new day in America. The Philadelphia Eagles have won. Kansas City Chiefs have lost. We're going to build homes for the homeless. There's going to be war on poverty. We're going to stop police brutality. You know, there was like 50 shootings just 2 days ago, and half of the shootings ended in some kind of death. There's a lot of shootings, and then since we're with a pro-Second Amendment, which is fine with the Bill of Rights, but they're not just pro-Second Amendment, but pro-assault rifles and on and on and on, you know, probably up into infinity, grenades, tanks, whatever. I'm not for sure if that's it just seems to me you're going to have more shootings, but there's been a lot of shootings. So it's like, you had a bunch of shootings. They're super pro-Second Amendment. They don't really know the Third, Fourth, or Fifth Amendments. It'd be nice if these libertarians actually understood, like, the whole Bill of Rights, the Fifth Amendment, like the first clause of the Fifth Amendment. And it seems like the media covers them, but nobody gives a damn. It's a corporate media. I got a thing here where just in Yakima, a police officer, they said the guy had a gun. He goes into the Quinta Suites. I'll just get that. That's the only thing that actually, the Oxford Suites. So Casey Schlill-Perut is the spokesperson, and he said that a man walked into the Oxford Suites with a gun. And then we're told he had a mental health crisis, and the cops shot him and killed him. And that's it. We don't know the person, the victim. We don't know the person who was shot dead. We don't know the cop that shot him. We don't know the circumstances, really. All we have is speculation. But nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn, right? It'd be nice to find out more information about what had happened. Like the whole story. Like, what the hell was the story? If he had a mental health crisis, what triggered it? Why did he go into the Oxford Suites? And what did he do? Like, it just sounds like he had a gun. This is America. Everybody's got guns. There was a guy, the guy that shot him had a gun. Why'd you shoot him? He had a gun, but you had a gun too. Oh, shit, I did. Seems like you need more of a reason than just having a gun. The Nazis in Cincinnati had guns. Just having a gun? Is it holstered? Is it strapped? Was he waving it around? Did he point at somebody? Did he shoot a couple times? I just saw in Albuquerque a guy did a drive-by shooting when the cops are there. And he eventually just got probation. He just got like, he said he was drunk or something, and he just got the gun. And he got probation. He could have got 3 to 6 years in prison. This is incredible. Like, people that outright do stuff just get parole. Meanwhile, and then we're just supposed to believe the media's lies. Where am I going with this? I don't know. But I just want to tell you about a little bit more information. The NFL is going to ban that Palestinian flag guy forever. He is never welcome come back into an NFL game ever again. Because he believed in something. When we all kneeling with Kaepernick like just a couple years ago, but now it's like, No, no. I mean, what if a person comes in with one of those scarves? What if they have a hat that's got Palestinian? What if they have a T-shirt that's got a Palestinian flag on it? I guess he was on stage, but he was one of the work crew. So one of the work crew was able to get in. He was on stage, so you're not going to ever have a halftime special. Man, But $7 billion to continue to commit genocide, nobody seems to have a problem with that. The genocide in Gaza proves that the American government believes in criminality, immorality, and hypocrisy. They don't have any beliefs, but they're immoral and they're criminal and they're a bunch of hypocrites. Cornel West said that. Criminality, immorality, and hypocrisy. So free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.